Are you really going to go?
Should I? Why hold me to this light?
Is it wrong to want greatness for you?
Why is goodness not enough?
Honor. That is why a knight does what he does.
What else ought there be?
What if to be a man meant to honor your word even at the cost of your own life? But instead of accepting responsibility, you run from it. Instead of choosing sacrifice, you choose pleasure. Instead of courage, protection, and comfort. Instead of honor, you choose cowardice. This is the situation Garwin faces in The Green Knight, a movie shrouded in mystery and convolution. The mix of pagan and Christian imagery and symbolism creates a fantastic world where stepping outside your castle brings turmoil, adventure, and even death. Garwin has everything he should want, a life of luxury, as the nephew to the mighty King Arthur, a prostitute and lover to fill his carnal cravings, and security inside the mighty fortress of Camelot. His mother protects him, and he lives a life most men could only dream of. With only one problem. He isn't a man at all. He's a boy. At least, he acts like one. For Garwin to master his own masculinity, he must go on a perilous journey and abandon every comfort he knows, even at the cost of his own life. The story unfolds when Garwin accepts the challenge of the Green Knight without fully understanding the consequences of his actions. In a desperate attempt to prove his valor and become a legend like those among him at Camelot, he rushes to face the Green Knight and deals a death blow. Foolishly, the challenge was that whatever blow struck by Garwin would be returned by the Green Knight 1 year hence. After Garwin decapitates the Green Knight rises, picks up his head, laughing as he rides out of the court, reminding Garwin of the pact he just made to be honored 1 year hence. King Arthur is seen disappointed at the decision Garwin makes to decapitate the Green Knight, knowing he must not have understood the challenge, or was arrogant enough to assume that if he killed the knight, he would not be able to return the blow 1 year hence. The next year is spent with Garwin yet again trying to run from his responsibility, as he has done for most of his life. But as spring turns into summer, summer into fall, and finally fall into winter, Garwin realizes the time has come. He prepares for his journey and sets out to find the Green Chapel, where the Green Knight awaits him. Before his departure, Garwin meets with King Arthur, who surprises him in his home. The king implores him to fulfill the pact of the game and says, "Is it wrong to want greatness for you?" Contrasting this, his lover, the prostitute Essel, pleads with him to stay, saying, "Why greatness? Why is goodness not enough?" Garwin knows that even though he could run from this, he must fulfill his obligation, even if he is terrified to do so, if he wishes to keep his honor intact. As a parting gift, his mother bestows upon him a green girdle he is told will keep him safe. This girdle is more than a mere trinket, though. It has real effects that will be vital to the rest of the plot. Garwin then departs on his journey, which is the first step he takes into becoming an actualized man. He leaves his home and comforts behind and immediately is thrust into adventure, danger, and mystery. This is exactly what Garwin needs to challenge himself and push himself to the brink, which is what allows true transformation and growth. Along the way, he loses the green girdle his mother gave to him. And towards the end of the journey, Garwin encounters a lord with a castle near the Green Chapel. He invites him to stay, but this is another test. During the stay, the wife of the lord attempts to seduce Garwin in exchange for a green girdle. This one the lady claimed to make herself, but it is identical in appearance to the one his mother gave him. Garwin fails this test, and succumbing to his temptation of the beautiful woman, is rebuked as not being a knight. This act is rich in symbolism, as his inability to conquer his own impulses emphasizes his lack of knighthood. To be a knight is to sacrifice as well as to show temperance and restraint. Fleeing from a castle in shame, Garwin makes his way finally to the Green Chapel, exactly 1 year to the day of the challenge. Facing the Green Knight, he once again fails a test and flinches before the knight's blow. Again he flinches and recoils as he runs away from the chapel, returning to Camelot and eventually becoming king after Arthur's death. He has a child with Essel, who he then betrays and outcasts because of her class. He ends up in a war, loses his son and only heir, and finds himself besieged in his own castle at Camelot, with inevitable doom breaking through the door. With death looming, he finally removes the girdle that his mother bestowed to him and is instantly decapitated. Startled, he awakes from what the audience now discovers was a vision. As Garwin remains in the Green Chapel, he knows, returning from this vision, there is no running from this pact he has made. Death will still find him in the end. Coming to his senses, he kneels before the Green Knight and removes the girdle and accepts his fate, ready to die. The girdle was a symbolic representation of Garwin's own cowardice. He departed on his journey and went through the motions, but only under the assurance he would be safe with his mother's protection. When Garwin lost the girdle, the true adventure began. By succumbing to the temptation of the lady in the castle and getting the green girdle back, he failed the test as a knight and entered into the blanket of security that surrounded him his entire life. He was no knight, after all. It was only in the final moments of the story, when Garwin accepts his fate, honors his duty, and rejects the protection of his mother, that he becomes a true knight and a man. The ending is intentionally vague. Why was the Green Knight sent by his mother? Would he actually cut off his head, or was Garwin's acceptance of his fate enough of a lesson? These are questions we may not have the answer to, but what we can learn from the story is what's important. Upon rewatching the film, it's more and more evident to me that the mother and the king herself know something Garwin doesn't. Towards the opening of the film, before the challenge, the mother is performing a hex of sort and writing the very words of the challenge that the Green Knight would utter. When we consider this along the Green Knight's final words to Garwin, "Well done, my brave knight," it becomes clear that the Green Knight may have been a proxy for the mother all along. The mother was doing what she should, which was pushing her son to become a man, get out of her house, and accept responsibility and danger, and she was even willing to put him through peril to do so. The king also seems to be in on this, reminding Garwin that it's just a game. When Garwin foolishly decapitates the Green Knight, it appears that the mother alongside the king are surprised, and devastated even. The mother, perhaps trying to pull a prank on the son or even scare him into accepting responsibility, may understand now that it backfired. Even thus, she sends her son out into the wild to fulfill this pact with the notable green girdle to protect him from true danger. Perhaps the game went further than the mother intended, and she was not willing to lose her son. Even if it was a game, Garwin still had to accept his responsibility and his fate to fulfill his obligation and maintain his honor. Along the way, he makes mistakes and stumbles uphill towards his destination with many setbacks. This is how true transformation must occur, for the path of improvement is not linear. The lady of the castle was there with a test, one which he failed as he succumbed to his desires. Yet he stumbled onwards and eventually made his way to the Green Chapel, where his fate would be decided and he would become the man he was meant to be. There are so many other aspects of this film which could be delved into. The role of the fox as the companion, the scene with the ghost of a dead saint, Garwin's encounter with the giants on the mountaintop. All are rich in symbolism and abstractions, which perhaps I will explore in a future video. What's important about the Green Knight is the lessons it can teach us as men. Running from our mistakes, our duty, and our obligations will do us no good in the end, as is revealed in Garwin's vision. Garwin notices that he escapes the Green Knight's retribution for a time, but he has to sacrifice who he is and loses his own way to do so. He treats Essel cruelly and becomes a dark shadow of the man he could be. This is the cost of his disobedience and his inability to courageously face his duty. This vision is what inspires him to remove the girdle and face the Green Knight, rather than sell off his honor and break the pact. He knows there will be more pain later than now, simply to honor the game. As men, we are challenged to go into the world and face our destiny, no matter how difficult or challenging it may be. The action of stepping out with no assurance of success or safety is the step towards knighthood and manhood. We are also accountable for our actions and our mistakes. Even one mistake can cost us our lives. When we cheat, lie, or break a pact, we are going against the cosmic order, and it has dire consequences. You can never get away with such behavior in the end, for the one you are truly trying to deceive is yourself. Imagine, for instance, a man who becomes the best chess player in the world by cheating. He may win renown, money, and fame, but he knows it's all a fraud, and in the end, he will have to pay for it one way or another. Do you agree with my analysis of the Green Knight? If you did or not, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy content like this where we explore masculine themes, philosophy, history, consider subscribing and liking this video. At Credenzio Studios, we're crafting one of the most immersive and spectacular medieval games with Lionhearts. You can build cities, forge empires, leave a lasting mark on history, or even become a knight like Garwin in this multiplayer feudal medieval simulator, coming soon to Steam. Please consider wishlisting our project as we continue to develop it, and check out our devlogs for more info. If you want to support the project's ongoing development, you can late pledge to our successful Kickstarter campaign to gain amazing exclusive rewards for when we launch Lionhearts. On top of this, I'm excited to share a unique new opportunity for anyone out there looking to improve themselves as a man and take the adventure of a lifetime, learning and discovering ancient virtues that have guided our ancestors. If you're interested in joining a community of men, consider the Knights of Lionhearts Discord server, where you can engage in discussions of philosophy, masculinity, history, and even get advice from other men as you walk through your journey of life. All of the aforementioned links will be in the description. Remember, like Garwin and the Green Knight, it's not the comforts or familiar things in life that inspire us and allow us to grow. Rather, the taking upon yourself of duty, obligation, and adventure with a will to fulfill it at any cost. This is what will permit us to become masters of our destiny and transform into knights.